Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the number one place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. So excited to be here today. The doors are officially opening for the Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind from today for the last time for 2025. So I thought, what a great time to take you behind the scenes of what it actually means to scale your studio. Because a little while ago, I was on a call with a studio owner and we were meeting for the first time, and I, introduced myself. She introduced herself, and I said, "Look, tell me a little bit about your studio." And she said, gave me a bit of a rundown. She said, "But I just want to scale." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, you're in the right place. That's a really good start." And she said, "But I don't actually know what that means." And it made me smile. But then I thought, of course, like scaling is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but not so much in our industry. And it's a word that I've taken and really used a lot for how I describe building our businesses. But truly, it's a really businessy type word and less used in a creative sense. And so I thought for this episode, what I would do is actually just tell you what it means to scale a dance studio. Now, I'll start by telling you what it's not. It's not about having the biggest studio. It's not about being the loudest or the most popular. It's not about becoming the most followed account on Instagram. Scaling your studio is about building something that works, that's going to work for you. It's about creating a business that's profitable, that's spacious, but more importantly, supportive of your life. It's one that will give you and allow control. It'll give you and allow predictability. And probably the most important thing is giving you breathing room, because, this concept of burnout is real. So scaling means just more time to focus on what you want instead of constantly reacting. It means putting systems and structure in place to help your studio run without you needing to actually be there and wear all the hats. It's about planning that's personalized. So it's not cookie cutter. It's not a plug and play and let's go, because it is all so individual. But most of all, scaling means sustainability. So you have to be able to continue doing this long term without it breaking every other part of your life. Now, I know this because I lived the opposite, and I built a studio when there was no one showing us how to do this sustainably. Now, I had to figure it out on my own, and it did take its toll on me. Like, I will always say that I was always lucky that I had support, and I do appreciate that. And I guess I went through with a little bit of naivety as well. However, there wasn't the information and the support that there is now. So there was the stress, it was the sleepless nights, it was the juggle, the guilt, that feeling alone and constantly having to make decisions, just that feeling that I couldn't stop even when I desperately wanted to. And, we get to Christmas and I'd want to just have a couple of weeks off, but I could never stop thinking about the business because if I wasn't doing something, maybe I was letting enrollment slip, maybe I was, not responding to inquiries and emails or nurturing and looking after my team. Like, there was always so much happening. I remember getting to a point where I just went, this is ridiculous that I can't even have 2 weeks, not even go away on a holiday, but have 2 weeks where I just don't think about the studio. And it really was a bigger switch in my mindset and the running of my business. And truly, this was a part of the reason why I created the mastermind. And not because I had all the answers, but because I knew exactly what I would have done if I had this support 15 years ago. And so if we were on a coaching call right now, this is what I would ask you. And whether you're sitting in the car, whether you're exercising and listening to this, answer this for me. Are you still doing too much alone? Do you have a clear path for growth that supports your life, not just your enrollments? And are you making decisions from intention, or are you making them from stress and reaction? Because here's what I know to be true. Studio owners don't need another course. You don't need more information to be continually scrolling through. You need fast answers. You need suggestions. You need solutions. Also, you need bespoke coaching where you're met exactly where you are right now and given the information to move forward exactly where you want to go. And you also need a partner for the support. You need a soundboard and you need, dare I say it, some accountability. Now, inside the Dance Studio Scaled Mastermind, this is exactly what you get. I literally will jump into your studio like a business partner and I treat it like it's mine. Your problems become my problems so that you can breathe. I know you want more flow, you want more clarity, and you deserve it. So what does the mastermind actually look like? All right, so we kick off this intake with our Pathway to Scale framework. And this is where we focus in on a different stage of scale every 3 months. And there's 6 major stages to prepare your studio for scale. And there's also a couple of bonuses in there as well. And I have the templates, I have the resources, I have the scripts, I have the examples, I have the done for you documents to gently move you through them. Because it's not about pushing or me adding extra pressure to you. It's what I would like to call gentle accountability, and it's paired with deep support. So we still work one-on-one. We have a monthly meeting with the one-on-one strategies of the areas that you're feeling most challenged, or where together we determine we need to focus in to start growing and getting better systems in place. And whether that is your team, whether it's structure, whether it's time, or you personally, like your energy, I give you the support every step of the way. We also have twice a month, we will meet up in a small group with our other studio owners, and we get together and we mastermind. We ask the questions, we're sharing ideas. People are coming to the table with the most incredible suggestions, and it is honestly, it's changing the game. I'm so excited for what's to come. But that happens also twice a month. So there is endless support, and then we have our daily portal support. So if you have a question any time of the day, you pop it into our portal and it gets answered. Whether that's by me, it's usually other members are in there and they are answering or giving suggestions or sharing things right at the time. Because I believe, like, if you're in a flow, if you're in momentum in getting work done and you have a question that stops you, then that will stop your momentum if you don't have somewhere to go. So that's how we keep the momentum flowing and we keep our studios growing. Now, that's the practical side of what's happening, but let me talk you through what the 6 stages of scale actually look like. Now, the first one is simplify. So this is where we clear out what's not working. We reduce complexity and we get back to the core of what actually will move your needle. Now, this is where we strip back all the extras that you've accumulated over the years and get really clear on what's essential. Next up is systemize. So we build repeatable workflows that remove you from the day-to-day. So thinking onboarding, enrollment, communication, team processes. These aren't just tips, they're actual systems that we activate into your studio. And that, of course, is going to look different for each of you. Okay, the next one is structure. Now, this is where we align your offers. We look at your timetable. We look at your personal schedule. team and capacity, so they support the sustainable growth that we're all trying to achieve. We make sure the back end is strong enough to hold the front end visibility and revenue growth. Okay, number 4 is strategize. So we need to plan for the future with intention. So monthly metrics, we need to get on top of your numbers. We need to know what's happening in order to know where we need to focus our time. We need to spend time for you being the CEO. How can we plan for you? Plan predictable growth, because this needs to become your new normal. Now, this stage creates space for you to lead like a CEO and not just constantly managing. Okay, number 5 is support. So building the right team, delegating with confidence, and creating a studio that isn't reliant on your energy to function. Now, whether you have 1 teacher or 10, this is about making sure that the load is shared. And then finally, step 6 is scale. So this is where we refine, we expand, and we step into this next level leadership. I'm going to say it. It's not about doing more. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Not about doing more. It's about leading and leading better. We look at things like expansion and new offers, or simply creating more time and money with what you already have. And then on a bigger scale, each quarter we will zero in on one stage together. And our one-on-one coaching calls, just you and me, we sit down, we talk about the best tools to use, we have a look at what I've already created, which you can utilize and then tweak and make your own. And it's just meeting you exactly where you are to move you forward quicker. And it's so you're not overwhelmed or you're not feeling rushed to keep up. I take that all on for you. And it's not about hustle. That word hustle, it's not about hustle, it's about momentum. And then after all that, there is then this magic between all of us. So you are in a room with the most gorgeous, generous, brilliant, supportive studio owners. Now, they've shared staff to help cover classes and admin. They've flown interstate to help each other with events and concerts. They swap advice that would cost thousands of dollars if you were to hire it externally. And we celebrate each other, we challenge each other, we grow together. There is the portal that I spoke about earlier, and in that portal there are questions, there's experiences, there's advice, and a lot of honest conversations. There's that feeling of not being alone, or you're not the only one going through it. And that stuff you can't buy. Now, there is no fluff. I don't know if you can tell by the way I speak, by the way I teach and I train. I just don't do fluff. There's no fake hustle. It's just real support. And there's no drama. I won't allow the drama. So if you love the drama, I'm probably not the person for you. However, we got enough drama happening everywhere else. You need to be able to come into a safe space that is calm. You don't need any more. Now, I've watched studios go from drowning in admin and debt to confidently hiring team, taking those holidays and building profit. But probably the most satisfying part is them falling back in love with their business again. And that's the power of doing this work together with a support network around you. So if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, maybe this is not the right time, then I want you to ask yourself this instead. What would change if you had real support for the next 12 months? If you just committed to 12 months? Because this might be the exact season where you finally get the breathing room that you have been craving. You might never feel ready. In fact, if you ask any of the women inside the mastermind right now, they would tell you the same thing. I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel ready. I wasn't ready to jump, but they were ready for something to change. And that's been a common thread over the last couple of weeks when we've been discussing this. They knew something had to shift. They trusted me They took the leap, and I hold that trust with everything that I've got, because this isn't just a business coaching adventure for me. This is a partnership. I take on your stress, I take on your ideas, I take on your challenges, and I clear the path so that you can lead. You still do the work, but I'm there beside you for every high, every low, and every decision in between. Now, we don't do surface level here. We don't skip steps, and we're really not afraid to have those hard conversations. What we do is we have real growth, we have real change, and we see real studio owners stepping into true leadership. And it all starts with one decision, and that is to stop doing it alone. Now, as I said, doors are open now for the last intake for 2025. So if this resonates with you, if you know things need to change, I really encourage you to apply right now. And as soon as you apply, I'll grab your information and I'll reach out and we can jump on a call. Now, I'm going to leave the link for the application in the show notes, or just send me a DM and I'll send it to you directly. Now is the time. Now is the time to change. Everything is starting to shift. First of all, the weather's starting to warm up, where, if you know me, the fact that the sun's coming out means things are looking up. But the economy is starting to change. People's attitude about spending is starting to change. You're probably seeing it. You're probably starting to feel it in the studio. So now's the time to really get in, build out those foundations, and focus on all these pathways to scale, so that in 12 months' time, you are not exactly where you are right now. You have started an incredible trajectory for growth. All right, fam, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have the best rest of your day. And any questions about that at all, please reach out. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.